The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Trevor, I have a theory that Rick Tocchet and Elias Pettersson will be a better duo for the Vancouver Canucks than Henrik and Daniel Sedin. Why? Because they'll lead us to a Stanley Cup, okay? Well, let's do this. Locked on Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, happy Monday and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into it, we got to thank you and you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it is your Canucks every damn day. We're part of that Locked On Podcast Network. They're doing the most for sports fans across the world and for our show. Again, we're not here without you listening, and we're also not here without those sponsors, baby. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Canucks bet on Elias Pettersson to be more impactful than JT Miller, and despite some of our commenters, the naysayers in general thinking otherwise, Elias Pettersson has the chance to do something incredibly special with the Vancouver Canucks. And is Rick Tocchet the guy to unlock that from Elias Pettersson? Let's get into that. Let's get into some of Tocchet's post-game comments about Pettersson, which kind of highlights what he wants to see from Pettersson moving forward and exactly what Pettersson needs to rediscover his old former self. We'll also talk about the Four Nations, the lineups there, talk a bit about Quinn Hughes' decision not to go to the Four Nations. We'll also touch on our GOATs of the week. Before we get to all that, let me introduce my co-host. He's always my number one GOAT of the week. Sorry for the ass kissing, buddy. Cal Bound. How you doing, brother?
Dude, I love kissing that. I mean, what? You know what? I'm not at that age in my life, okay? I'm not there yet. I'm a simple dude, okay? Commissionary kiss on the forehead. What? Locked on Canucks. Okay. All right. Anyways, Locked on Canucks. At a time where the Canucks aren't playing a lot of games. I wish they were. Because I like doing the post-game show and whatnot. I just love watching games right now. I'm back to being a happy Canucks fan, okay? Canuckasuckalitis is out of my system. That being said, there's still a lot to watch in the next couple days in the world of hockey, okay? Pettersson, Lankinen, Rick Tocchet behind the Canadian bench and whatnot. There's still a lot going on, including Miller versus Pettersson too, which we will get to in a couple of days. But right now, I want to talk about teamwork, okay? And Trevor, I gave you a homework assignment this morning. I said, you know what, Trevor? Listen closely, because you might have already listened to it over the weekend, but listen really closely to what Rick Tocchet was saying about Elias Pettersson during his press conference after the Toronto Maple Leafs game, okay? Because in my opinion, it was really, really, really telling about, everything that's going on with not the tendonitis, but the brain waves inside of Elias Pettersson and the confidence, and also what's going on within that organization. Because we just found out that apparently Elias Pettersson is off the trade market. And a part of me is feeling like what's happened over the last couple of days. I know it was only one assist against Toronto, but we also heard about Pettersson and Tocchet meeting after San Jose as well. I feel as if there's this admiration from Rick Tocchet, not Elias Pettersson to Rick Tocchet, but a Rick Tocchet to Elias Pettersson going on over the last couple of days. And he told management, I can fix this guy. And I think he can.
Yeah, and look at the value for Elias Pettersson right now. Again, you're talking about a guy who has been one of the top players in the league since entering the NHL, and obviously on a bit more than a slump where it's been 12 months that he's been a shell of his former self. But, one of the most interesting things I heard from Rick Tocchet post-game there was basically talk about the confidence of Elias Pettersson. And he talked about a matchup against Austin Matthews and how he excelled in that matchup. And a couple of things that caught my attention there were the fact that Rick Tocchet could tell early that Pettersson was invested in the game. And of course, I mean, look at that shift where he sets up Philip Roanoke for that goal, makes a couple of other good defensive plays on that shift as well. Rick Tocchet has talked a lot about players not being emotionally invested in the game for the Vancouver Canucks. And it's hard not to think of him maybe singling out Pettersson as one of those guys earlier in the season. Again, it wasn't just Pettersson, but you could tell on a lot of nights he didn't look like he had it. Hell, in the San Jose game last Thursday, he didn't look like he had it. From the opening puck drop.
That was the worst game he's ever played, in my opinion. Not gonna lie, that was so bad. That was so pathetic. Based on all the games he had in previous history being so mediocre and bad, and the JT Miller trade having the week before, just to do what he did against San Jose when there was no Quinn Hughes, even Connor Garland was missing for a while. You saw no leadership from that guy. You saw nothing, because again, I feel as if he like wants to handle all the pressure, but he doesn't know how to do it. And also he's not instinctual. He's not having fun. And ultimately speaking, Trevor, and sorry to cut you off, but like the confidence is at an all-time low. So like let's have a little fun here. Like what do you think they talked about right after that game? Because apparently, again, those two got together. Like you know how like people were like hating on us, like, oh, you guys are so harsh on Pettersson. We won the game. Why do you guys gotta talk about Elias Pettersson? We beat San Jose. Why you gotta talk about dude? Pettersson's the key. You are you guys stupid or are you dumb? Pettersson is the key. His success tilts everything. Okay, it goes from, oh, can we survive beating Calgary to like, yo, do we have a chance? Do we have a chance? Because there's still that chance. Trevor, I'm sorry, but I'm loving the D lately, okay? I'm loving the D. I'm loving that big D inside my heart, man. And the Canucks defense is making me think that, yo, we may have a chance. So all in all, Pettersson's the key. Him being back to normal is essential. So again, we saw it against San Jose. Then we saw what happened against Toronto. Like, I want to know, like, what do you think? What do you think Tocchet said to Pettersson? Like, I don't know if he revealed it at the press conference after Toronto, but specifically, what do you think they talked about?
Yeah, I don't think he really revealed it, but I think there were some hints. And, for me, I think Rick Tocchet's got a little project going on in his office called Project Fix Petey. And I do think it just stems from building this guy's confidence back up. And there was one thing he said in the presser where he tapped Pettersson to go on the ice to skate against Austin Matthews, I believe it was. And Petey was like, who, me? Like, he gave him that second look, and Tocchet said, yeah, you get out there. And then the quote following that was Tocchet said, quote, he needs a bit of a push, you got him tonight. I think that was a big thing for him, and hopefully he can build on it. And again, man on man, with Elias Pettersson right now, I think, again, he is feeling the pressure a bit too much. I do believe he's a guy that's hard on himself. And, some guys handle pressure differently. Like Kyle, for me, if, I feel that pressure in the sack, sometimes I cradle back into my shell, the turtle goes back in the shell, and, I'm just not performing that night. And I think Rick Tocchet is trying to make sure that turtle comes out of the shell for Elias Pettersson.
Wow.
And again, I think the other thing that really stood out too was how he wants Elias Pettersson to have fun. I think the word he used was, you got to meet pressure with pressure, but pressure can be fun. And he mentioned the word fun multiple times because I think he was asked by another reporter about what do you want to see Pettersson do with the 4 Nations? And I think Rick Tocchet said, I just want to have fun again. And I think that's a big thing because he has not been having a lot of fun over the past 12 months, despite the fact that, man, last season was one of the most fun seasons in Canucks memory. And again, it looked like the fun just evaporated from his game in the latter half of the season, and it bled into this year too.
There you go. Tocchet diagnosed Elias Pettersson. And I know, the reports already came out today that I think one of the agents for Pettersson, does he have to? Anyways, an agent came out today that said that Pettersson didn't have the summer he wanted. The tendonitis or the injury that he suffered really got in the way of what he could do in the summer, and that's why he got off to a slow start, or didn't meet the expectations of the Canucks training staff and whatnot, or the coaching staff and the management, blah blah blah. Those, to me, that's not good enough. Okay, I don't like those excuses. I feel as if Tocchet is really, really, really on point with the problem. Okay, it's not the tendonitis, it's not the bad offseason. It's him not handling being one of the most expensive players in hockey. Him not being able to handle what Rutherford told him about this deal. Because before he signed that deal, there was like a 40-day stretch where he was struggling. Like he hasn't been able to be himself because maybe he's trying to be someone else. Maybe he's trying to evolve. I don't know. But at the end of the day, instinctually speaking, he's had none of it. And when you're as cerebral as Elias Pettersson, it's ironic because, the word fun and cerebral don't really go together at first glance. But to get to that cerebral point of view, you have to be in the flow state, man. You have to have, you can't be thinking about what you haven't done or how the last game went. You just got to be in the moment. And Elias Pettersson is not in the moment. And Rick Tocchet, man, again, I keep mentioning this. It's been a crazy year for the Canucks, and like everyone's wanted Pettersson gone, and everyone's wanted Rick Tocchet fired, and this guy can't coach offense, and blah 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 blah. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I woke up today and I'm doubling down. Like, I think Rick Tocchet is the perfect coach for Elias Pettersson right now. You want to talk about toughening him up, evolving him, doing his thing. Rick Tocchet's played with some of the best players in the world. He's coached some of the best players. I know he hasn't been the best head coach of all time in years prior to last season. And now Rick Tocchet is going to be around McDavid, McKinnon, McCarr, Crosby, and John Cooper and that staff. And I think he's going to bring some of that tutelage to Pettersson, because I just feel as if their relationship is going to take the next step. And Tyler Myers, a couple weeks ago, what did he say? Or was it last week? He said, nobody held a bigger grip in that room than JT Miller, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to be a void. Oh my God. Like, what are we going to do? Dude, I've been saying this also for years, man. Rick Tocchet, stop letting that room lead one another. Okay, you're the guy, you're the dog. These guys haven't been perennial winners. You have in the past. You be the leader. You bring these guys together. And now, instead of JT Miller being one of the guys issued to get, Pettersson off his ass and doing something, which again, that combo never worked, it could be Rick Tocchet. And I think something could be done there. Again, JT Miller's not there to encourage Pettersson anymore. It's Rick Tocchet's job.
It is Rick Tocchet's job. And, shout out to our commenters. I do believe we got the best commenters in the world. And then Derek Whelan in the comments saying Tocchet could pull another Jack Adams out of his rear end if Petey returns to full form. And, man, can you imagine? I mean, Project Fix Petey could be Project Get Rick Tocchet some more hardware in his case. And again, the only hardware that matters to Vancouver Canucks fans is the Stanley Cup. But Kyle, you hit the nail on the head. If they are going to go back to being a Stanley Cup contender and get out of the perceived mushy middle that they're in right now, they need Elias Pettersson back.
Oh, it's that? Oh, it's not barely scraping by San Jose? Oh, it's not right? That? Oh, should we have a dude again? Like, if Pettersson plays like that, everyone's got to talk about it. Not because it's an issue or not because me and Trevor are pessimistic. It's just like, yo, we want this team to reach its potential, and there's a lot of love and appreciation there for Pettersson. And there's been a lot of agony too, and it's led to the angriest version of Kyle Bout. So I'm just a fan. Okay, I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan. Okay, I get emotional about these things. You know how much happiness is put in the hands of the Vancouver Canucks? I know I'm crazy. I should already feel happy about life and blessed. It's sunny. I got a beautiful girl. My family's great. You know what I'm saying? I got great friends. But I'm sorry, man. The Canucks wins and losses, bro. That whole equation, that is an attachment directly to my morale. And again, Elias Pettersson and Rick Tocchet, I don't know what I heard this weekend. The communication, the clarity, and now again, as you're alluding to, like this project that Rick Tocchet has ahead of him. I'm happy that project is not in the hands of JT Miller, and now it's in the hand of Rick Tocchet, because I don't know. I think that it could work, and we need it to work.
We do need it to work, and hey, I'm still putting the faith in Rick Tocchet, and I'm putting some faith into Elias Pettersson too. Again, when you got that kind of skill set, if you can figure it out between the ears and just go out and have fun and play hockey, he's got the skill set to be one of the best players in the NHL. More on that in a couple of minutes. More about foreign nations as well. We'll talk a bit about Quinn Hughes opting out of the tournament, some of the line projections, where Canucks and former Canucks slotting in as the foreign nations rosters get their first practice underway. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back on the other side after shouting at our friends over at FanDuel. All right, you know what? Super Bowl is in the rear view, so FanDuel wants me to talk about NBA action. It's getting going on FanDuel. Also, the Four Nations face-off, also alive and well on FanDuel. You can place your bets for that on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is the place that I go to when I'm betting on sports. The app is so damn easy to use that even I could use it. Eh? Hell, even my grandma could use it, man. Let's go. For the Four Nations face-off winner, here are the odds right now. Canada plus 140, USA plus 160, Sweden plus 430, and poor Finland plus 950. Man, oh man, I'm really liking those odds for the U.S., but I'm Team Sweden. More on that on the other side. But if you're placing bets, make sure you go check out FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot to win $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
People. We talking about your Vancouver Canucks. You're on Locked On Canucks because we got that West Coast bias, man, and we addicted to this team so much so that Trevor Beggs and Kyle Bowen are willing to go against their own country. It is what it is, man. I don't know what it is, man. You know? Last week, you think I'm cheering for Pettersson and Team Sweden? No, I'm upset. I thought he was going to the Islanders for Barzell and Dobson, to get my hopes up. Bro, I was willing to trade this guy for Boris Diaw and Leandro Barbosa. What? All in all, bro, I want to see Pettersson succeed here, man. And now since Quinn Hughes is not playing for Team USA, which we will touch on, I guess in a couple of minutes. Yeah, Trevor, it's Team Sweden or bust for this Canadian right here.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle, you and I joked for a while about how does it make sense to cheer for every team except for Canada, right? You got Kevin Lankinen in Finland, Miller and Hughes on Team USA, and Petey on Team Sweden. Now you got no Hughes playing for Team USA. You got Miller, who's no longer a Canuck. You got Lankinen, who's probably not going to see the net at all in this tournament, as good as he's been. Jussi Saros and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen are also pretty good goaltenders too. Then Canada's got no Canucks, so it's Team Sweden or bust, baby. I don't care. This isn't the Olympics, man. You know what? I want to see good hockey, but who I'm rooting for is Elias Pettersson, and then I'm rooting for Team Sweden. Like Rick Tocchet said, I hope Pettersson goes out there, has some fun, gets on the score sheet, gets more of that mojo, more of that confidence back. And again, the whole argument this year about him not getting the wingers hasn't been as applicable. He's played with Besser, he's played with DeBrusque, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
bullshit.
now in this tournament, he's slated so far based on practice to line up with Adrian Kempe and Philippe Forsberg. So talk with the high end talent. I mean, Petey, this is an interesting spot for him to hopefully have some fun and hopefully get on the score sheet and make an impact for Team Sweden.
And here's my conspiracy. Okay, nobody's talking about this, but I will. And I've been making a lot of sense these days. Again, a couple episodes ago, what did I say? I touched on it for 5 seconds. I said, the Canucks could get Kyrie, or they could try getting Robert Thomas, or maybe St. Louis is willing to put Braden Shen on the block. Boom, bam, Braden Shen's apparently on the block. Okay, now I'm going to say this. Make some sense, okay? Pettersson and Philip Forsberg rip it up together, and the Canucks are going to go after Philip Forsberg.
Damn, man, that's a bold take. Okay, what does the trade package look like for Philip Forsberg?
Hey,
Kyle?
Trevor, one step at a time, man. Okay, we don't have to go there yet, bro.
Right.
We don't have to go there yet. All in all, though, yeah, the recipe is there for Pettersson to continue to have fun. And again, connecting Tocchet into this too. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't do my research here. But people are telling me that one of Pettersson's former coaches is actually a coach at Team Sweden. Maybe they have a good relationship. Maybe they can speak the same language, and just help Pettersson cross the bridge of fun, okay, and get to the other side. Maybe Rick Tocchet and this coach for Team Sweden. I don't know if it's collusion, but maybe they go out for dinner. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Rick Tocchet learns a couple words in Sweden. And Swedish, sorry. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Pettersson's 25. Why do you got to baby this guy? Dude, it is. Dude. Tocchet admitted this guy needs to be pushed a little, okay? It is what it is. We're all different, okay? Well, we all had our lives figured out at 25. Yeah, he's making a lot of money, but right now, he's got to get his confidence back. So whatever it takes. And sometimes we need guidance, Trevor. It is what it is. And yeah, Rick Tocchet having dinner with Sweden's head coach. I don't know. Could happen.
Yeah, I don't hate that take. And for those who don't know, Sam Hallam, if I'm pronouncing that right, is Sweden's head coach. That was also Pettersson's coach for the Vajo Lakers of the SHL when Elias Pettersson got covered in gold and helped his team win a championship for Team Sweden. Now, I'm going to take a diversion here. Let's get to the comments because I do want to debunk something quick here. Again, a lot of Elias Pettersson hate in the comments, and I know one of our commenters in particular. Hey, we love each and every one of our commenters, but Matt, there's no guy that's more consistent in his anti-Pettersson takes than Matt. And I think I mentioned something about Elias Pettersson being over point per game guy, being one of the top scorers in the NHL since being a rookie. Matt going against me on that one, saying he's never been top of the league. One season he was 10th in points. His average is 150th. I don't know where those numbers are coming from, but I do have the numbers here, Matt. Elias Pettersson, this is from his rookie season. So since he ended the league as a teenager up until the end of January last year, Elias Pettersson, 1.03 points per game. That's 20th overall in the NHL over that time span, just behind Evgeny Malkin, Matthew Tkachuk, Cale Makar, just ahead of guys like Braden Point, Johnny Gaudreau, rest in peace, Alex Ovechkin, and J.T. Miller. Just saying, Elias Pettersson has been one of the best players in the NHL for most of his career. And again, that's why I am believing that the Canucks I'm believing that Elias Pettersson is going to get back to the player he was. Again, it's some of that is drunk blue and green optimism, but when you got the skill set that he does, the best course for the Canucks is to try Project Fix Petey, because Project Trade Petey, it ain't such a good one. And here's another one from Zarfy Bear in the comments. Kemper, the best Canucks Trevor on YouTube, saying Kemper is okay with the trading Pettersson for Brock Nelson and Dobson, which made me think he's crazy. Look, Kemper Canucks, that guy's an absolute beauty. Go check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. But if he did suggest that and I haven't seen it, that trade is bananas to me. That's bananas, dude. That makes no sense to trade for a 33-year-old UFA and Dobson, who, again, the Canucks, like, again, you're going to be defense heavy with no forward. I mean, that trade is just bananas.
100%. And again, like, even in the Discord, like, as we ramble about Elias Pettersson, and again, I've been his number one fan for 99% of his career, and maybe one of his number one haters in recent history, but there's no way that I was willing to trade this guy for pennies at the dollar. Like, it was just it's always been way more important for this team to either get value back from him, like even value based on the home run grand slam potential, or just hold on to him and see like if they can fix him, or just turn him into like a really good defensive center or something. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you need grand slam guys on your team. Again, we don't know how long Demko's going to be Demko for, okay? He's like, you know what I'm saying? If Demko's not Demko, that means right now, as we look at this team without Pettersson being at his full potential, we only have one of those guys in Quinn Hughes. That's not good enough. I'm holding on to Pettersson to figure out, again, if we can hit a grand slam. And look at this comment from Carmen again. Like, do you think Pettersson's agent's comments on Pettersson's injury affecting his summer training as a cover-up for PD is legit? I think there's a little bit of that. A little. In fact, I would have wished that his agent didn't come out with that quote today. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so over any type of excuse. I'd rather just hold on to the mental aspect of it, right? Whether the tendonitis thing be true or not. But at the end of the day, it's a results-oriented business, and it was really nice seeing Pettersson pick up one assist. What, 8 minutes into the game? Oh, beautiful! Congratulations. Look at how much we're smoking this one assist. Again, I haven't watched any corn all season 2025, and I'm not one of those guys anymore, okay? You know how many times I watched that Pettersson highlight? Dangerous amount of time, okay? A dangerous amount of time. Because I've been feeding that, and let's not fool ourselves. And even so, like, he's so overanalyzed right now, like, that Canucks fans will be analyzing his team's Swedish performance, you know? Like, if he's not a point per game player, like, he's not making spectacular plays every now and then, like, we'll be looking at that like it's a problem, because we need this guy for our sake and his own sake to stack up good individual performances. This whole thing about like, oh, the team's winning, who cares, blah, blah, blah. Dude, we're scraping by, you know what I'm saying? We're playing good defense, all in all. We're getting goals from Drew O'Connor. Like, that's not good enough. That's not going to win you playoff series. We already saw it last year. If Pettersson's not going, we can't get past the second round. It's the truth. Like, we need this guy to return to superstar status. So that one assist will be nice for like a couple more days, but I already know, like, when the tournament starts, the fan base will forget. And unfortunately, based on Pettersson's mental strength right now, his brain balance, as Dr. Daniel G. Amen would refer to, he's pretty weak right now too. So for his sake, like, he can forget about that one assist game that he had against the Maple Leafs if he doesn't stack up some good individual performances in this World Cup of charity hockey tournament called the Four Nations Face-Off. I didn't even know it was called the Four Nations Face-Off. I thought it was the Four Nations Cup.
Yeah, who knows, man? It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm excited to see best on best, but yeah, it's not the Olympics. Again, Team Pettersson, Team Sweden. Let's go Sweden, as we always say here in Vancouver. Quickly on Hughes, he's not playing. That was announced sometime yesterday that he's not going to Four Nations, and sounds like the decision tore him up a bit, but he knew that it was best to help the Canucks with their playoff push. I feel like that's a bit of a PR win there. I mean, the fact of the matter is, this guy isn't healthy right now, right? And he didn't play the Leafs game, and I think we all knew that if he didn't play in that Leafs game, it was going to be a pure toss-up. I do feel for Quinn Hughes. I think, you know, he probably did desperately want to play in the tournament, not just with his brother, but with one of his best buds in Brady Tkachuk. I mean, he talked after the Miller trade about going to go see Miller for Team USA as well. So you can bet that Quinn Hughes wanted to be there. Sucks that he's not there. Sucks that he's not healthy is the main thing. But I think Canucks fans are kind of breathing a sigh of relief that he's not playing in this tournament.
Oh, 100%. And this guy's a captain, man. He's got to do it. Look how the team battled without him, and now we got a 3-point cushion against Calgary. and it's an oblique injury. You know, it's a pretty big injury. You're talking about a guy like, again, I haven't worked out in a couple weeks. My doctors aren't letting me do that, all that jazz, and for me, it's been tough. But man, like an oblique injury, like your abdominal, I work out my abs for 1 day a week, and bro, I'm sore for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Like think about all the shifting and turning and the twisting that Quinn Hughes does. Like to take into account like his obliques hurt. Like, dude, there's no way that he could play. No way he could play. The only way he's playing games with an oblique injury if it's like, you know, game 3 of round 1 in the playoffs. It's got to be like that. If it was the Olympics, I would understand, because that's like once in a lifetime stuff, but not for an All-Star Four Nations tournament. And where was I going to go with this? I had a good point. You know what? Maybe I'll get to it on the other side. Okay.
All right, let's wrap up on the other side, get a couple comments, and do our GOATs of the week. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back on the other side after shouting at our friends over at Indeed. You just realized your biz needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. You just got to use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need, baby. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites, because Indeed Sponsored Jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. Now, I've been there, man, okay? With my company, I've been in that spot where you need that right hire like yesterday. The pressure's on, and every day without the right person is a setback. You're bleeding. You're hurting. Your obliques hurt. That's exactly when Indeed Sponsored Jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Right now, you can speed up your hiring process with the $75 sponsored job credit. Wow. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support Locked On Canucks by saying you heard about Indeed on this very podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need.
Okay, we back to this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Kyle Ballin, Trevor Beggs, second best dad in the world. I'm assuming the sun was shining this weekend, was it? And if that was the case, Trevor, how was the weekend with the kids, man?
Yeah, let me tell you a funny story. So actually, I guested on the Hockey 411 podcast with excellent host Brian Anderson. So I was recording outside because it was midday and my kids were napping. So you know, if you watch Locked On Canucks postgame, you know I often record shows at home outside. So I'm outside, the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day, and like 15 minutes into the recording, it starts snowing, and I got no coverage, no umbrella, no nothing. So I'm just out there recording a hockey podcast in the snow. Man doesn't get any more Canadian than that.
Yeah. And you're here cheering for Team Sweden starting this week. That's something else, man. That's something else, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, again, a couple things I want to touch on before we get to go to the week. Okay, so the whole Hughes point that I kind of forgot about hones in on this. Okay, because I just remembered it. He had to do this. Like he had to do this, and you talked about the whole PR stunt. Like I hope this injury is not worse than it is. I really don't. Like, I hope it's not like a 3 to 4 week thing. I hope he's close to coming back, but these 2 weeks would really help it without, again, endangering himself to extend that injury and whatnot. All in all, though, if he went out and played and got a little bit hurt, it obviously would damage the team for physical reasons, but then it would be so obvious that locker room is broken. Completely broken. Like, not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have wrecked the fabric of our connection with the team, based on the fact that it would be pretty obvious that for the majority of the season, this team hasn't been in it. They haven't been, a strong knitted group. And now you just got your captain risking his livelihood, his health, for, again, a charity tournament. And he had to do it. Like, it's been too noisy of a season for the captain of the Vancouver Canucks not to think about a team first move. Okay. Now, I want to touch on the Pettersson thing, too, because I kind of ignored the point you made about Rick Tocchet looking at him, saying, hey, Pettersson, get out there. Go match up against Austin Matthews, okay? And Pettersson's looking at Rick Tocchet and is like, are you sure? Like, you want me out there? Dude, isn't that so telling that this dude, it's a mental thing? Like, it's like this guy has absolutely zero confidence. And if it's not zero, it's like 10 out of 100. Because isn't this guy Mr. Selke? Like, doesn't he want that stuff? He does deep down, but when you're a shell of yourself and you're insecure and you've also not been given that role since Rick Tocchet's been there, you're a little confused. So on that note, I think Rick Tocchet's about to learn a lot about Elias Pettersson because he can do those things.
Man, I'm just wondering if Rick Tocchet and Elias Pettersson finally took your advice and went to the Amsterdam Cafe together.
That's what I'm saying.
Thinking it happened.
Bro, we got to go there. How come we don't go there ever?
It's because I don't love you anymore, Kyle.
We got to go there. Anyways, run goats of the week, man.
All right, here's our goats of the week segment on Locked On Canucks. If you're new to the show, we basically rank the 5 best Canucks from the past week. We score them on a scale of 1 to 5, and then I'll update you on the yearly GOAT rankings if we got time to do so as well. But starting at the top, and this might be a bit of a controversial pick because as Oliver Sholnick points out in the comments, Demko named the second star of the week in the NHL. Well, I don't have him as number 1 here on my goats of the week ranking list. I do have Filip Hronek.
Wow.
Again, playing savior for the Vancouver Canucks, stepping up, looking like a true number 1 defenseman. The tenacity, the skating, the physicality, and he led all Canucks in points last week with 4 points in 3 games. I mean, Filip Hronek, again, I think there's been some ups and downs in Vancouver, more ups than downs, but he especially looked a little shaky coming back from injury. But he was so rock solid at a time where the Canucks needed him to step up in Quinn Hughes' absence. And Filip Hronek, to me, without question, was the best Canuck from last week.
Yeah. No, he's been such a bright light, and it's so impactful, and in my opinion, how do I say this? Is it possible for the Canucks to be brand new ASAP, like coming out of this break? I think so. And one of the main reasons is, Hedl, Drew O'Connor. Oh, Marcus Pettersson. Now we have a deeper decor. Oh, wow. Dude.
Wow.
It's because Filip Hronek can man his own pair. And let's not forget, he's doing this with Derek Forbort.
Yeah.
Like Quinn Hughes isn't even Quinn Hughes isn't even playing with he doesn't even play with like a 78 overall defenseman. You know what I'm saying? Like Filip Hronek is lifting up the ceiling of his team. And yeah, he's got the attitude, and I've poked at his attitude before. Okay, again, a couple weeks ago, I had enough of this team's attitude. Y'all ain't winning games. Like, y'all can't just be like smirking after questions and just giving attitude. I know the reporters are a pain in the ass sometimes. I know we suck sometimes, okay? I'm looking at Trevor Beggs. I know Trevor sucks sometimes. Don't be giving me attitude. You guys losing games. You guys haven't won back-to-back games since 1946. Shut up. But man, oh man, Filip Hronek's attitude, his charisma, his role in the team increasing, again, fills a bit of that gap that this team is missing when it comes to like any sort of leadership. And maybe he comes, ironically, more of a voice for that team.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought you were going to debate me a bit on Filip Hronek being number 1. Again, Thatcher Demko had a pretty strong claim to number 1, but I've just been super impressed by Filip Hronek over the past week, and I think he's a big reason why the Canucks, again, went 3-0-0 this week with wins over Colorado, San Jose, and Toronto. Thatcher Demko, clearly number 2. He only let in 1 goal this week, stopped 64 of 65 shots. Again, we're hoping that the injury isn't serious. I know we saw a comment too from Matt suggesting that he was talking about how Rick Tocchet said it wasn't the knee. It wasn't the knee, when Matt says clearly he was stretching out the knee. And I kind of had the same thought. He is stretching that left side of his body. That is the same knee that he injured. But based on the way he was stretching, I kind of wondered if maybe it was the hip again. It's impossible to tell when looking at the angle, but you got to wonder how honest the Canucks are being with that, or how much Rick Tocchet actually knows about the situation. But regardless, Thatcher Demko, a much deserving runner-up for the GOATs of the week here. Number 3, I got Brock Besser. He had 2 goals last week, both on the power play, a game winner against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just finding a way to get it done and looking good alongside Filip Hedl with that new combination there. Number 4, I have Drew O'Connor. Not the best fancy stats, but we see the tenacity, the hustle in his game, and scored 2 big goals, including the penalty shot winner against the San Jose Sharks. And number 5 might be a bit of a bolder take, but I have Nils Höglander again. I think Nils Höglander is playing, this is the best he's looked in some time for the Vancouver Canucks. I know he's doing it in a 4th line role, but he's looking to me like the Nils Höglander from about November, December last year when he forced his way back into the top 6. Mm-hmm. He is playing very tenacious hockey right now. Didn't even get on the score sheet last week. But in terms of just the underlying numbers, the Canucks dominated possession with Nils Höglander on the ice. And you see Nils Höglander attacking defenders, getting the puck, winning battles, making plays. Those are the things that are going to get him back into Rick Tocchet's good books, and potentially things that are going to get him higher up in the lineup when we get out of the break here.
Yeah, and it's a much needed thing for Nils Höglander to find his potential. I know we shouldn't be talking about next year, but in reality, like, we need this guy to look like a $3 million player. Okay, it's just the truth. The OEL cap hit coming our way. We just need players playing above their value, and finding Nils Höglander again is so important. I like that list. I would have maybe sprinkled it in some Marcus Pettersson. Who knows? Even Tyler Myers. Again, man.
Yeah.
Trevor Beggs, my birthday's coming up in a couple months, man. Tyler Myers jersey? I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe a jersey. Let's not get too crazy.
Okay, one step at a time. But Trevor, man, I'm back, man. I feel like myself again, man. I know I haven't been to the gym in a couple weeks, and that's kind of weird. I don't think I've taken this long of a break from the gym since I began going to the gym almost a decade plus ago. Like, it's like 12 or 13 years. I don't even know the math. I'm getting so old. But I'm so happy the Canucks are winning games, man. I'm so happy the Canucks are winning games, and I've also found my appreciation for Elias Pettersson again. I know it was only 1 assist, but dude, I feel like he passed me my heart back, man.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about Elias Pettersson in the Four Nations. And Kyle, I'm happy you're feeling good, man. I'm happy you're feeling good. And even though you can't go to the gym right now, it's all good, buddy. I know that you would if you could. I'm going to give the last comment to Callum Sandu over here. Can we mix it up and get some super high-pitched baby glow bleats in the future? I think, Callum, does he have a goat fetish?
Oh, no, he definitely does. But how about this comment, okay? Do we keep Hughes and Heronic together when Hughes is back? MP3, Marcus Pettersson, and Myers could be an octopus pair. I did hear Rick Tocchet talk about how he loves those guys together, and they did a great job. Even some Toronto pundits were honing in on the fact that the Leafs players could not do anything against Myers and Pettersson. But part of me is also scared, oh my God, are we going back to Tyler Myers being a shutdown guy? Honestly speaking, I'm scared of that, not gonna lie. But it is what it is, man. Keep proving me wrong and just win games, man. Just win games and let's make the playoffs, and let's have some fun this week. Let us know in the Discord. Join the Discord, link in the bio. What should we talk about this week? I think Trevor Beggs might send a couple emails. Maybe we'll get the Locked On Senators guys on the program to talk about some Josh Norris stuff. All in all, though, Team Sweden, man, go Sweden, our home and native land. I'm Team Swedish, okay? Also, JT Miller versus Pettersson too. We'll talk about that later this week.
Yeah, man, my balls are blue and yellow for Team Sweden. Wait, what? That was another episode of Locked On Canucks. Shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners, the first-time listeners, the new subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you whenever or wherever you're listening from. Again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe and like this on YouTube. On the podcast side, go follow us and leave a 5-star review. For now, we got to get the F out of here.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Hit the like button. That guy's Cal Bout and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Peace, 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 peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.